Welcome back for your May reading. For those of you who are soulmate twin flames on a spiritual path, this read is for you. If you're wanting to make a booking, you can look at the link directly below. If you're having trouble with the website, just inbox me and I'll give you a hand with it. I have placed USD in the actual information box. Obviously, exchange rates do change, but it's a rough guide as to how much it will be. There's also time conversions on there to help you with it because I'm in Perth, WA. So if you are wanting to make a booking, you can go to the link. Also at Yildiz readings, I also do any of the collective energy for astrology as well as for the twin flame path, any psychic downloads I get. I am a twin flame as well as a psychic medium. And I will be doing other videos as well as an informative kind of basis to work through the matrix of the journey. Now, I've pulled your cards ahead of time, and I have been drawn this month to actually draw crystals, and I've actually found I've been channeling directly through them. Now, there was something you've had to go back to the table within this connection. You've had to go back to the table and you're really spiritually trying to find the compassion in your heart. You do have the answer, I'll say that. But there might be a bit of ego at play, either on your side or their side. I'm not feeling the term pride comes before a fall. It's nothing to that degree. It more feels energetically that you're trying to be fair to individuals. And that's really a theme that's coming through for May. I think deep reflection has come over the last 2 months. And I'm really feeling as though with you guys, the search is within, okay? So going within, getting yourself anchored in, getting grounded. And this is, you know, the energy that's crowning your direct connection. So be it with them or not, regardless, it is directly impacting and affecting you in a way that you're needing to think about what to do from here. You have matured, you have a lot of heart chakra activation, as well as you do have a lot of solar plexus activation. And this is something that's really been coming up over the last 2 months with Mercury retrograde frequency we had. Also with the Libra and Moon energy that was aspecting from March all the way through to April. Being at the 0 degree in March, it denoted an ending in order to have a new beginning. It's very similar to the Fool card when you look at it. You know, in order to have that, there's infinite potentials. If you look at numerology, 0 equaling infinite potentials, leap of faith with the unknown equation. So for many people, the vibration was very heavy because you're looking at it and you're thinking, I know what I want. I don't know how I'm going to take a leap of faith. I don't know in which I am taking a leap of faith into. And this could be even if you had communication or you didn't or you're in it, and what way both individuals are actually going. It was a very frightening energy. Reaching to the 29 degree point around that time, potentially agitation. At the 29 degree point, it can look messy at times. So it is what it is. And you're having to really take it as it stands and sort the direct conflict or the tasks at hand of what is connected inside the relationship, very separate to the relationship, and proceed forward on that new beginning. So for many, it was bittersweet. Also with Mercury frequency, it was ending a 37-year transit cycle, and the frequency was changed. So potentially for those of us in our 40s, that was a transformative state. That is one of many cycles in our lifetime where we're ending and we're moving into this new frequency. What you do find is when you are having a chakra activation and you're having upgrades, you do tend to deplete the solar plexus and the sacral chakra. Especially those of us that are empaths do tend to deplete that energy, and it is connected to healthy boundaries, us wanting to be creative. So the lackluster energy that we were experiencing was due to the purge / upgrade with other chakra systems, and even the headaches, the nausea, the dizziness. That was really an aspect that was going on. You do have a lot that you're contemplating. The crystals that came through for you initially were clear quartz, jade, and citrine, and that was like trying to detoxify a situation, trying to use your intuition. Now, citrine can be used for various things, one of which is detoxification, you know, of lower frequency kind of addictions, etc. Also to protect yourself. At the financial and the heart chakra level. It was finances and heart, as well as wanting the clarity in the situation. Now, when I meditated further, when I walked away from your reading, came back, 2 additional crystals wanted to join the actual reading. So there was amethyst and the, again, very heavy heart energy, very strong energies towards your finances, self-worth, if you have the direct power, if you're protected, are you making the right decision? These are really the energies that are coming through. You also had, now I've just drawn a blank on it. It doesn't want to be mentioned. Pink quartz. Again, similar to heart chakra. But there is a heavy emphasis on heart, detoxification, and clarity. Now, the first card that you've got is achievements. Now, you're meditating upon this. And this can be from a feminine or a masculine or an emotional perspective, regardless of what sex you are in the read. This is for those of you who are Leos. Again, you're using your intuition on these achievements. What do you wish to achieve within this connection? What have you to date achieved in this connection? You know, sometimes regardless of communication, not communication in the relationship, not in the relationship, we do tend to not take stock of what we actually have achieved. So we feel energetically we're going backwards, but we're actually never going backwards in theory. You're never separated either. You're only ever separated when you're disconnected from self, and that's very interesting because the intuition coming up, especially if you're saying 144, is asking you to really anchor your energy. And you know, we can note it as a union energy, but we also do need to look at it as the energy of, okay, where are you at in the journey? What particularly is going on with you within your connection? What do you need to do to anchor that frequency and to get to a point where you're feeling grounded? You know, out of alignment in a frequency sense can be where we are focusing so heavy on the 3D of what we visually can see, what our interpretation is. When the mind becomes involved in that scenario, we need to follow our gut. So a lot of times when we're using our third eye solely and not trusting our gut and our heart, because the search comes from within, but doesn't come from the egoic mind. And this can potentially be where you're operating from temporarily. From a masculine frequency in perspective, being a 6, it's also the sun energy, which is masculine frequency. So regardless of whether you're a male or a female in this read, the energy of Leo is coming through having to utilize their masculine frequency to cope with aspects of adversity. Also needing to follow their intuition, but having a formed relationship with your intuition, with your solar plexus and your gut instincts, you know, trusting. A lot of times when we have the lack of energy, the confusion, the indecision, it does come from an imbalance of the solar plexus. The creativity aspect comes from the sacral chakra, and there are, as I mentioned, other chakras being activated currently. So the fatigue is also coming from the planetary aspects, as well as the spiritual aspects of what's going on with you. So the fatigue can come from there. You can do some work in those 2 areas to help you. And the very next card is solar plexus and sacral chakra frequency coming through. The lack of peace can be due to an unstable situation, again, of rough communication and not everyone being on the same page or not getting enough information. Again, the 0 degree point, and moving all the way through April potentially with that vibration and still feeling you're not moving forward was very challenging and did directly affect people's chakra systems as well as their vibrational feel. It was very frustrating to say the least. Again, 3-3 equaling to a 6. Now this year is deemed as a 3 vibration, and I will do a video separate on that. Next year is a 4, and that will be prepared before 2020. With the communication, I do feel as though you're wanting something to come about. You're wanting to feel better. You're wanting to be happy. You're also wanting peace in your life. you grasp the concept of needing to go with the flow, but you feel you're off rhythm. You feel, due to the external scenarios and potentially a home-related environment that you're having to leave, some of you are needing to leave the environment. Now, there is two stories here. There's two energies coming through. So some of you, not all of you, may be experiencing a dynamic where, due to the astrology, you're in two minds about a connection. You may be looking back over a previous connection and thinking, good grief, what did I go wrong in that? Or potentially wanting to go back to it like it was a safety net. Others of you might be feeling that directly connected to the current partnership due to burdens and responsibilities. Whatever this energy is, it is moving forward. And I do feel you're saying to yourself, no matter what, I'm going to be okay. And I very much feel your change in perspective is due to the fact these chakras are going to balance out. Again, a lot of yellow and a transformation. But it all does come down to perspective of how you can tackle this situation with this person. I also do feel a lot of what is blocking you is connected to your 3D, not your soulmate twin flames 3D. So it can be an internal dynamic. I am feeling it's a home-related dynamic and frustration due to finances, as well as for some of you, this is directly, completely an external situation being tied up to move forward, and it's frustrating. But it's also being purged at the same time. Your partner's energy. They're dealing with similar aspects, although one or the other may be a little bit further ahead in the way they tackle scenarios and dynamics. I'm feeling as though they're clearing away energies. And again, they're preparing for next year. So they've sort of got the energy in their mind that regardless, they know where they want to be by next year. They're driven. They're very driven. There may be an energy where the frustration can be that there's more work being done on one side than the other. But again, I'm feeling this is separate related. I do not feel this is correlating with each other. Although you may be projecting towards each other, even if not together, it does feel as though there are situations that have really caused BS in both parties' lives. One could have an opinion connected to journey. The other is connected to a karmic frequency in the journey. And that can be many things. Karmic energy do come from us because they're blockages. We directly attract them due to belief paradigms. Once learnt and purged, they no longer return because we expel them, so to speak. They don't directly connect in like a magnetic field. There's much frustration though and potentially angst. So both of you simultaneously, 1 to 2 weeks out, are going to feel a similar vibration. Your counterpart's not knowing how to proceed forward. Some of it they do feel as though you have the key. They're waiting for you to have the key. This potentially could be that they're out of alignment or vice versa. Or I am feeling for some of you, this counterpart's energy, the partnered energy, is feeling as though the domain of what you're dealing with is yours and the domain they're dealing with is theirs. So it's breaking a codependent pattern. Others, there may very well be a very tight karmic pattern linked to Leo where they're breaking away from. This person isn't following their own light. Potentially their dream is you. For others, it can be that they don't have their own light at a lower frequency. So if this person's energy is a karmic, I do feel as though that frequency is coming through more as they don't have their own light. For others of you, it feels more that this person is enlightened, but waiting at a different level and understanding that everything has a process. And they're pausing dreams because their dream is to be with you. They have purification of fire in reverse. Something hasn't completely come to an end, and this can potentially be the issue So in their mind, some karmic energies are still lingering around and it's causing conflict in the dynamic or in the direct connection. But I do feel energetically you're making direct plans in order for that to happen regardless. Although there's a lack of communication in relation to this opinion, feeling, or 3D situation, they're aware of the reasons why it is, but it is causing an aspect of frustration. Your outcome to this, you're very much guided to own your power, to have the confidence in yourself. And for some of you, I'm actually seeing if you're out of work, there's a career coming. And I know this is the soulmate twin flame read, but it does feel like you're really, really, really anchoring in your power and taking it back. And there is a lot of creativity around you. Although the two chakras appear to be imbalanced, I do feel they're coming through and you're reaching for the stars. And it's a head and a heart decision, but you can't shortchange yourself, okay? And it is correlating with healing that blockage to bring your masculine or femininity out, to take your power back and co-create. The new chapter is something that, now you've got new chapter in reverse. For some of you, you know where you're going. So it can be a very old connection that comes back, which is a soulmate twin flame. For some of you, it's ending a karmic pattern, and it's because you're working on it. It hasn't ended as yet for that new beginning. Although the 0 degree points come in and the 29 degree point, it's the finalization of those things. So we can say we have to sell an asset just because we've walked away. That asset could take 6 months. And I'm not saying it's taking 6 months. I'm giving you a, like an example. So although the frequency of that is there, the intent and the understanding and the walking through with it is there. The frustration for Leo is it hasn't occurred yet also. For counterparts energy, again, you do value this person. You also wish to be valued too, so you're coming into self-worth alignment. You do want a lot of these dreams, and you know they're infinitely they're completely potential. They're a complete potential. See, I've even got tongue-tied. They will be grateful in the long run. It's interesting. Head and heart with the 2 stars. Head and heart on the card with the 2 stars. This feels as though both of you are following your intuition. Both of you, it's like I'm seeing an ant moving through, being cautious not to get stomped on, but to get the prize at the end of it. Leo, you need to follow your own advice. Now, this is the card that's come through. You may have dealt with a situation or remember something that your counterpart told you. Trust yourself. You know what is best for you. And again, the head and the heart, it's like go into your gut. If you have to be very sharp with yourself, really go into your gut and sit with that frequency and say, if I lift with that frequency, let me meditate upon that. And upon meditating on it, it can give you it'll give you the frequency of what it directly may potentially feel like. And then look at the other aspect of what that potential outcome would be. And then if you really, and I really do feel the ball is in your court. I do feel the energy is there for you. You are meditating. I mean, regardless of what the card's saying, it's almost like an epiphany going, it's down to me. What do I want to do? And I do see you actually sitting there, nurturing yourself, really meditating and going, okay, I've got this. Look at the way she's holding the cup. It's like, I've got this. No longer hiding from the truth. Not trying to dress, a dog's dinner up as meatloaf. It's like, it is what it is. Okay, what do I need to do from here? Having the light bulb moment. And no longer needing to have that search inside with this card. You really do know what you want to do. You do have 2 plans, okay? So regardless, there is an entry and an exit plan, and I'll say that much. There is a lot of change coming. The vibration they are feeling for the ultimate journey is success, and your counterpart is going to be happy. It is taking a little bit of time for this to all come together. But I am feeling as though providing your trust in the process of Leo's energy, even not making a decision for Leo, and again, the energies can swap, so don't take it personal. This is the energy that's coming through. On one side, someone is needing to own their power, and they do have it, and they have been doing this for a while. They just simply haven't noticed. So I do feel a massive decision is going to be made. We will check in mid-month and see what's happening, and follow us to have a look at what the live sessions are like for all the psychic downloads I get that I bring to you during the month. Love and light.